Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's not what happens. You look at other communities, they have bat mitzvahs. You got a bat mitzvahs, bro. You throwing $5,000, $2,000, $3,000 gifts to the kid. By the time he gets out of high school, he done already got an account of $60,000, $70,000. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a different process. Asian
Definitely.
communities, they hand down their businesses. The family got to do this, or kid got to do this, and no, you got to do that. You know what I mean? Like we the only one to be like, oh, I made it, and we break the family apart.
Yeah. It's definitely systematic for sure. I kicked it off, you know what I mean, on the late night here, Money Pot Nights. We got a lot of things to get through. It's been a little bit. So stay with us. Let's go. Late night talk show. You know what to do. Come on in.
I'm just one parlay away. Trust I'ma take us far. I'm just one parlay away. One parlay away. One parlay away. Oh, I took the Chiefs on over. Took my home.
Parlay away.
One parlay away.
Yo, that joint in the headphones sound a little bit different. You know what I mean? It sound a little
I thought
bit
you ever had the
different.
headphones in.
Yeah, it sound a little bit different, man. Welcome everybody for another episode of Money Pot Nights. I'm the host. I'm the CEO. They call me Moss Money. Of course, I got my guy with me. Be humble. What's up, bro?
What's up, brother? Hey, man, look like Miami of Ohio going getting, take the next step. Look like
Oh yeah,
yeah.
is that a shock? Is that a shocker?
Well, people kind of try to, make it seem like they ain't
SMU, right?
deserve to be, yeah, they ain't deserve to be in a tournament because they had a weak schedule. But
Oh, they undefeated. This is the only undefeated
they
team, right?
lost. They lost in their conference tournament.
Oh, they did lose.
So they
Okay,
got one
okay,
loss.
okay.
They had to get in a play-in game. It looks like they're gonna win. They beat SMU or beating SMU.
Yeah, yeah. That's who they get? Tennessee? Is that who they
I
jump
think it's
into?
Tennessee. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
All right, bet. So we got a lot of things to talk about. We got a lot of different. Oh, I got the wrong. Hold on, my bad. There we go. We got a lot of things to talk about. Actually, get right into it. Right, March Madness about to get kicked off and going. Your brackets are ready. So what we're gonna do is something a little bit different. All right, hot topic. Everybody's talking about it, whether you like it, whether you don't like it. I don't know. We're gonna use AI to predict the perfect bracket.
I didn't even think about that. You next level. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even think
Trying to
about
give
that.
trying to give quality
Mm-hmm.
content
AI.
to the people.
Mm.
So let's stop playing the games. Let's use AI and see what AI says, and then we break it down.
Okay.
Right? You
See what it
know what I
says.
mean? Stick with us. Stick with us. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen on the whole AI. Even though you might not like them, you might hate them. I'm not a big fan anymore. I was not anymore. I still pay for this John, so I'm gonna have to use it. All right, that's Gronk on X. And let me zoom in just a little bit so we can see what we're talking about. And then I'll share another screen where we have the actual bracket itself. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna say you are the greatest March Madness bracket um, analyst in the world. Pick the
You had to give
perfect.
you had to give him an intro. You had to soften him up a little bit. You had to
Yeah,
press
just a
his
little bit. Yeah, yeah,
press his
yeah,
ego.
yeah.
See, right?
I got to make sure that they know and get the
You
AI in
appreciate
the
him.
right frame of
You
mind.
appreciate. Okay, so
Yeah,
you stroked the AI's ego. Okay,
yeah. Pick the perfect bracket
make sure you say
for
please at the end.
the 2026 NCAA tournament. All right.
Basketball tournament. And you didn't say please.
I don't need to say please. All right, here we go. is up and agrees with alive. I crunch the numbers. Going with Duke.
Wah, wrong.
Wrong.
Already.
Going with Duke to win the Eastern region,
Oh,
it looks
Eastern region.
like.
Okay. Okay.
Going with Arizona to win the West region.
Mm-hmm.
Florida to win the South. Michigan to win Midwest. Is that not all number ones?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Final four. We got Duke, Arizona over Arizona, Michigan over Florida. And in the championship, we have Duke over Michigan. Duke is right now at plus 300 odds. I don't even know if that's true or not. I would have to look that up.
Yeah, it's about plus 300.
Okay. Upset specials they say St. John's, the number 5 seed St. John's makes a run.
Love
The
them.
potential Sweet 16. Mid majors, the lookout for is Akron and VCU.
True.
VCU,
True.
VCU had a run. What was that? A couple of years ago. I forget what year. They
That
had
was
a
like a
decent
decade
run.
ago. That was long.
Yeah,
That was like
that was a long time ago.
Smart wasn't Smart the coach. That was a long, long time
A
ago.
long time ago. Yeah, I remember that run though they had.
Mm-hmm.
They have no massive 15/2 shock, but they feel some 11 and 10 seeds will advance. Let's see. Let's shake it up a little bit. Please run this simulation 100 times. Who are the top 3 winners? Let's dig a little bit more here. Let's see what other ones we got. All right, so here, this is to your point. Only 34% of the simulations run in the bracket, Duke is won.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan's won 28. Arizona won 21. The remaining 17 simulations were scattered. Florida with 9 wins. Houston with 5 wins. Others, UConn repeating Purdue, Iowa State. All right. How do you feel about Gronk's AI's picks? And would you agree with these picks? We can get to the bracket in a little bit. It looked like it didn't pick it really the way I wanted it. I can ask it to pick every game if we want and update the bracket so we can see it. But so far, what they have coming out of the Final Four and the championships in the 100 simulations of them picking it, how you feel about those picks, or do you like them, or is it just kind of consensus that this picking number one, just using statistics just to get there?
Yeah, the only thing about Duke, and obviously we got to look at the bracket because I think there could be some tight ones, is that
Yeah.
they did it. They did finish strong in their conference tournament, being down a few players. But the question to me is about their health. Obviously, got one of the best players in the country with the Boozer, with the Boozer son.
Yep.
He's averaging about 20, 22, 24 points a game. But is it going to be enough, right? Are those injuries going to hammer on them, as we're moving through this tournament? So that's why I don't think Duke makes it to the championship game. I think Arizona's pretty stout all the way around. Michigan's a tough team. They do lack in some areas, but I think this is a year that you're going to see probably an underdog get closer. I like St. John's. I like some upsets early on. I like Houston a lot.
I think I saw Houston play recently, and they did look good. I think I forget there was a close game.
Yeah, playing really well.
Yeah, they play well. I feel like Houston's defense always been kind of tough. Who are the top upset picks? And let's do 1,000. No, let's do 10,000 simulations. Let's see who the top picks.
VCU.
So we got VCU over.
I can see that. North Carolina's they lost their best player, so that's a tough.
Over North Carolina.
I like that. I like South Florida
over Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty high, right? 40%.
Yeah, I like South Florida.
640s. That's live. Iowa over Clemson, which is kind of close.
That's a 9-8. That's a 9-8.
Yeah. Other high frequency upsets: Texas A&M over St. Mary's.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this we know they were wrong on this one, right? Oh no, yeah, this would be wrong because SMU would have to beat
Yep.
Miami,
So it'd be
Ohio.
Miami, Ohio. Yep.
Yeah. McNeese over
Hell
Vanderbilt.
no. Hell no. Hell no.
Hofstra over Bama. Texas
Hell
over
no.
BYU. I think they just said Iowa over. Yeah, Iowa over Clemson. Okay. All right. All right. Let's bring up the bracket. Let's see if we can put some of these and punch these in. And let's see what we got here. All right. So let me bring up the bracket off the handy AI tool. All right. Let me zoom in just a little bit. That joint look crazy. Probably gonna have to get tight. That's a little bit better. Go in one more. See, can I X this joint out? All right. You gotta be my guy, bro. Haven't watched college. I know the names. I know the big players.
Mhm.
I know the Boozers. I know the AJs from BYU. Was it a Cuff or Koof Jr. in Arkansas? Brandon Smith. Who else? Candace Darren Peterson, I think, is over there. Is that his name?
Yep.
I know that just the main players. So this is your bracket, homie. Knowing what we know from AI, let's
Mhm.
pick the perfect bracket.
We'll
All
go
right,
Duke.
yeah, we'll go Duke.
Yep.
Oh, that won't let me click the Duke. I can't.
You can't move it over.
I can't move it over. Is it because? All right, let me refresh it because that game's over with.
Is it a real? Is it a bracket that you can
Can I
plug in? Maybe
pick?
not.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, you probably got to go to a challenge.
Yeah, that's dumb. Let me. I thought we could pick those Jones. Let me see. All right. That's cool. We'll run it like this anyway. Um, Let me see if I can find another one.
If you have to go
If I
into
said it's NCAA, let me do it. No.
go to my picks and then click on men's whatchamacallit, then so you can start one.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Go to men's basketball bracket challenge.
Yeah, but it just gives me a blank page. I'm just wondering if that because of that.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, it's not coming. Nothing's coming up. That's corny.
Try ESPN.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do.
Or you can just do a
Let me
dummy
create a
ESPN
better.
one.
Yeah. Everything's so slow. Let me do this. While I wait to get that up. Any upsets for you that you have while I'm bringing this up? You're looking at.
I think there's potential for a lot of upsets. Now are they all going to happen on the same bracket? I don't know. I think there are some upsets that can happen. Let me just pull mine up.
Yeah, I got. So
First
I
first
got.
round. Mhm.
I got ESPN's up. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
That's okay.
Yeah, I got ESPN's up now, so we can do that.
I think the first round upset I do believe is going to happen is that South Florida Louisville. That's the 11-6 matchup. I like South Florida, how they've been playing. Really got a lot of length. They get up and down. I've been watching a lot of South Florida games.
Hmm.
Um, coach really well. Actually, they had lost their coach. He had passed away. I want to say a year ago.
Oh wow.
And then they kind of like still he set up a good system there, and they kind of followed that move. And actually, it's two universities actually coached that. Can't think of the other one. They both are in a tournament right now. Once we come across that name, I'll make sure I'll shout them out.
So we can start from the
Okay,
top.
sure. I like Duke.
All right.
Let's go
So
Duke.
yeah, Duke, obviously.
Here's going to be a close match. I think it's going to be a good game. But I like Ohio State. I like how Ohio State's been playing, especially big games. They keep them close. So I think they can kind of pull that off. We'll move over to St. John's.
St. John's. Yep.
And obviously Kansas there, I think, is going to go. Then we can close that bracket up if you want to.
Okay. You want to do Duke?
Yeah, I like Duke there. Yep. I like St. John's in the upset here. 5-4 matchup, St. John's.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, we'll scroll down. We'll leave that Sweet 16 alone.
Okay.
We'll go South Florida, like I said. I think that's a good upset there.
What's the odds on that? Do you know?
Odds, let's look at it. That's a good question. Do they play? What day? What do they play? What day?
Then tomorrow.
Is that tomorrow or Friday?
Yeah. Yeah, no, today's the 18th. Yeah, tomorrow.
But is it a tomorrow? Do they play tomorrow or do they play Friday? You know, they switch it up. Let's see. Okay, no. So that's a -4.5 Louisville.
Okay. That's pretty close for a 6-11.
Mm-hmm. So I like South Florida there just because of what they've been playing, how they've gelling together as a team. Mm-hmm. Louisville's been up and down. It looked like they're going to be special. They'll have some, and then they start weakening out throughout the season. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I just like this upset here, 11-6 upset if I have to put an upset here. Michigan State, obviously, I think they'll beat North Dakota.
Yeah.
And then we'll go – this is a tricky one. Here's another one. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I like the way UCF has been playing this year. I'm going to throw in another upset here. Let me look at this spread.
Yeah.
Let's see if I don't know if they play tomorrow. They play probably Friday. So let's see. Friday.
It says Saturday, I think, the 20th.
No, the first round is Monday, is Thursday and Friday. So they play Friday, and it's a 5.5 point favorite for UCLA.
I see that. Yeah.
So okay. I'm gonna give them. Although UCLA. So this is the only thing about UCLA. Okay. It's interesting because they came into their tournament. The coach he's a good coach. He bitches and complains all the time because he's in the Big Ten now.
Yeah,
they play in LA, right? So let's look at this. I want to show you the schedule here. They're in Los Angeles, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've traveled to Iowa, to Wisconsin, to Penn State, to Ohio State. They had to come back over to Michigan and kind of close out the rest of the season there. But now they got to come all the way over here. They got to come to Philly. So they're coming back over to the East Coast.
You know what? It's funny you said that. I forgot some of the first round games were in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. That is true.
Yeah, Philly has a big. This is a big year for Philadelphia hosting sports.
Yeah,
in the city, and it starts with this. This is the first real big hosting, and then it gets. We have the World Cup, we have the MLB All-Star Game. There's a couple of things going on, but anyway, I do like this. I just think it's a lot for UCLA to kind of get back over here. UCF is a really tough team to play. I like this upset here, UCF. We'll go UConn there.
Yep.
Then we'll go UConn to beat UCF. There's just too much physicality for UCF. Tricky one, man. Tricky one. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. You like a bracket with upsets and some upset potential.
You got South Florida.
South Florida could be your VCU, your James Madisons.
Your little Cinderella story.
It could be the Cinderellas. I think South Florida has a lot to really play for. But in this bracket, let's go Michigan State.
Oh,
unless you want to get tricky. Unless you just want to get tricky for the pod.
No.
Could South Florida win? They could. I think they would be. I think that would be Michigan State probably like a 5.5, 6.5 line.
Michigan State's always tough, though.
They are.
They're always tough.
So we go Michigan State.
Yeah. All right. So we're going back up. We got Duke and St. John's.
I'm going St. John's. I'm going Johnny boys and Patino. I think that's when the injuries catch up to Duke. I think they're just not going to be able to kind of get with that physicality. I think it's going to be a lot on Boozer. I think they have to beat the guys inside that can bang with Boozer. I like the Johnnies here getting to the Final Four.
Is that Rick? Is that Pitino? Rick Pitino?
That's
Rick Pitino. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I'm assuming UConn.
And then UConn. And so this will be their fourth matchup this season, which is insane that they are on the same side of the bracket. It doesn't make any sense. Wow. This could be a potential, another game they can play. And, we'll leave that where it is, and we'll go to the other side, see what the other side will be.
Okay. All right, so we got Arizona, Long Island.
You can bring them all the way down. Just keep on going.
Okay.
Arizona the best team pretty much in the basketball. I don't see, especially in that bracket, I don't see who can stop them. I like Villanova to get one win just because they're hometown
Villanova.
team here. I wouldn't be surprised if Utah State can upset them, but I like Villanova. Wisconsin's tough, very, very tough team. They got a lot of guard play. They put up a lot of threes. They'll put up 30, 40, 50 threes a game. We'll go Arkansas. I love Arkansas here. They're playing really good basketball. Calipari got them boys playing really good. BYU, Texas. BYU really flundered down the season, down the year. Started off really hot. They were ranked in the top 10, and then he lost one of the best players, and they kind of just been dwindling. They did have a good showing in their conference tournament. Can they beat Texas? I think they're good enough. DJ, they're going to want AJ to kind of at least get one good win, get them further. And so I like BYU to beat Texas. Gonzaga, not as an offensive threat as they usually have been over the years, but give me Gonzaga here. Still coached very well. They're in familiar territory, being in a tournament, going deep. So I like them. This is tricky, man. Miami is one of them. You close your eyes and they win a game. It's like, oh, they beat this team. And it's like, give me Missouri on the upset, the 10-7 upset. I like Missouri here. And then we'll go Purdue.
Queens.
Queens.
I don't think I've ever seen that with Queens.
Queens College, right?
Right.
And then
so I guess we're going Purdue.
We'll go Purdue.
Purdue.
And then we're going to go. Let's flip a coin here. Do we want AJ DeBonzia to have a great game?
I think we want AJ.
Want that.
Yeah,
I don't know if they have enough though. But let's just put it out there just because we want AJ to be there.
Okay.
Arkansas. I like Arkansas here.
All right. And then
I think Arizona's going to be a little too much for Arkansas. And then we'll go Purdue.
Yeah. All right. So we got our 8. Well, half of our Elite 8 here.
Mm-hmm.
St. John's, UConn, Arizona, and Purdue. Let's go to the other side. Let's start on the south. We got Florida.
Yep. We'll go Florida. We'll go Iowa here. I like Iowa in that short upset here. Yep. They'll be able to get after it. I love Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's going to be another one of them Cinderella sleepers, playing really good basketball. We'll go Nebraska there. We'll go.
AI called this an upset.
They did. VCU is a good team. I just don't think they have enough talent in North Carolina. I got to go North Carolina here.
Yeah. Illinois.
But the problem is North Carolina's going to run into Illinois. Is just too good. They're going to go Illinois. And then we'll go.
This was another AI upset.
Yeah, St. A&M. I don't like Texas A&M, to be honest with you. I haven't seen a lot of Texas A&M this year. I've seen a lot of St. Mary's games. They've been more competitive with Gonzaga all season. I'll go St. Mary's here.
And then we already know with Houston.
We love Houston. We can we can stay there and go to Houston again.
We go Houston again.
Yeah, we'll go Illinois here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going Vanderbilt. We're going to take Vanderbilt over Nebraska, going to the Sweet 16. Vandy to the Sweet 16 and go Florida.
Well,
SEC teams, they're familiar with each other. Let me take a look real quick. Let me see what happened over the season. Can I do that really quickly?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'll throw some other ones. We already know the easy ones, right? We know Michigan is going to be there. We know Bama is going to be there. Let's see. Iowa State. Virginia. Is Virginia still that defensive mindset where they only score like 50 points?
No, they're different. They get out there, but they're a good team. They've actually, I think they've extended themselves this season. Played really, really good basketball. Some really good victories. Let me see.
I'm going Miami, Ohio here.
Miami of Ohio?
Yeah.
Upset Tennessee? Okay, that's good. Their momentum, they just played.
Yeah.
So they played that's Friday. That's probably a Friday game for them. So yeah, okay, that's getting momentum. Oh, that's a super Cinderella. Okay.
Yeah. I think I believe the hype.
All right, what we missing?
Texas, Georgia, and
I like Georgia. I love Georgia there.
Okay, and then Texas and Akron.
This could be a tricky one. Texas Tech, they lost their best player to Obi Toppin. I think not Obi Toppin, but last name's Toppin. I can't think of his first name. If you want to upset here, you can go Akron.
Yeah, we'll go Akron.
Just for an upset, 12-5.
Yeah, so and that's a typical upset, 12-5.
Yeah, the only thing is Texas Tech do have pretty solid defense, so Akron won't be easy for Akron at all.
And then Kentucky and St. Clair.
We'll go Kentucky here.
Yep.
That'll be a high scoring game. We'll go Iowa State. Iowa State's strong, really strong team. We'll go Virginia here. They're not going to. Miami of Iowa can compete there. We'll go
Bama.
Alabama going to the Sweet
Uh,
16. Michigan beats Gonzaga. Too much firepower. Transition offense from Michigan is elite. Let's go. It's going to be going high scoring game here. Michigan is going to probably be in the 80s, 90s. Michigan's is too good. We'll keep them there, and we're going to go Iowa State.
All right. And then on this side, Florida and Vandy.
So listen to this. Like I said, Vandy is. I mean, to put Vandy in a Final Four is crazy to think about. Score against Florida early in the season on the 17th of January, 98-94. Florida wins. High scoring 4-point win. And then you go about a month later, they played them March 14th and beat Florida 91-74. So this is really one of them games that I think could go any way. It's amazing.
Whoever hot.
Yep, it's going to be two teams that have been played each other a couple of times, Florida and Vanderbilt and St. John's and UConn.
Go Vandy.
Vandy.
Let's go Vandy.
We'll do the gas run out. Let me see. Let's look at who Vandy has to go through first. Let's go. Let's do that. Vandy got to go through Nebraska and the East. Florida got to go through Iowa and Prairie View. Can Iowa burn them out a little bit? No, still a little break for the next week, the Sweet 16. Can Florida have a back-to-back the gas? Let's go Vanderbilt. Yeah, let's go.
Let's go Vandy. Let's go. Ain't nobody Iowa, Houston.
No, Illinois, Houston. We're gonna go Houston.
I'm sorry. You're right. Illinois, Houston. Yeah. All right, we got our Elite Eight. Let's bring it up top. St. John's and UConn. UConn getting back.
St. John's, baby. I'm going to the Johnnies to the Final Four. Yeah, we're gonna be in a white suit. Coach gonna be in a white suit.
All right, Arizona and Purdue. I feel like I already know this.
Arizona, yeah, it's too much for Purdue. It should be a good game though. I think they'll keep it close in the first half, probably up to the mid-second quarter, and a late win for Arizona.
Is Vandy going, buddy?
Hell no. Houston, the bus stops there. Houston, too tough defensively. Some young guys on that Houston team that can kind of go. I like Iowa State to upset Michigan here. I feel like it's going to bite me, but because I feel like Iowa State's become the popular number 2 seed to get to the Final Four over Michigan. I feel like Michigan might actually, but I'm going to go Iowa State.
All right. And what's our national championship?
Two teams I really like, St. John's and Houston. But we're going to go Houston.
Ooh.
Houston, Arizona.
All right, that's it. We stop right there. They got to come back and see what happens after this.
All right.
We'll stop right there.
Hope they like that. That was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a pretty decent one. Couple upsets, couple Cinderellas. Obviously, St. Johnny's is the talk of the tourney from what we're talking about here. And Vandy, right? Vandy had a big show. When's the time Vanderbilt been to the Elite Eight?
Right, that's what I'm saying. That looks more realistic of like how basketball probably will go. You'll have one team that's like, oh, I can't believe it made it to the Sweet 16. And it's like, yeah, you heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
I got to put my bracket tomorrow.
Be humble himself. Yeah, we got an office pool. I didn't even jump in yet. I haven't been too good. I haven't been good at watching it this year. So, you know what I mean? But I like the bracket. I like the picks. Hope you guys liked it too. Put in the comments who you guys got in the Final Four in the national championship. Let us know. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right. Well, there's a saying. Actually, where I want to go now? Where am I going? You know what? I'll go actually to what we just saw recently. And we've seen this offense before. I agree with Aaron Judge that I felt like the WBC felt more important than the World Series. I actually got goosebumps watching that game.
Okay.
Let me see. U.S. chokes. How ironic with politics galore around that we lose to Venezuela, right? How ironic is that? If you find any comedy in that, because I know politics are serious for certain people. But let's take a look at this. This is the end of the game for Venezuela versus U.S., and that was a dugout. They lost 3-2. As all the talk is Bryce Harper has gotten in this town about not being clutch, how about a 2-run shot to tie up the game? I think it was the bottom of the eighth, 2 outs, one guy on, and did his thing. But U.S. came in there as heavy favorites. I think they got up almost to minus 310 to win this game, and they did not win this game, and they lose to Venezuela um, pretty much straight up and lose 3-2. That offense looked very familiar here in Philadelphia to the Philadelphia Phillies, where the whole lineup went absolutely cold. And it was just kind of really odd and crazy to see. But I'm not sure if you watched the WBC, bro. But how'd you feel about the game so far? And did you get the sense of what Aaron Judge said, like this is almost better than than the World Series games?
Yeah, when you're talking about nations playing each other, you get a lot of pride behind it, like a lot of support.
Yeah.
And obviously, whether there's turmoil going on in your country or any type of hardship, there's always a celebration to represent where you're from. And I think that's where you're getting the most excitement out of people, especially the players.
Hmm.
They feel like they got to defend them, defend their country or try to prove themselves, right? I think you got a lot of smaller countries in a sport that try to prove themselves, so it becomes more passionate. Like you get from the Dominicans, and you get from the Venezuelans, and you got from the Japanese, and other countries. So I do think this was a great 2-week tournament.
Hmm.
Um, I think that the viewership continues to rise every year that it happens. Um, you do got a lot of things that's happening politically in the world, so it kind of pushes that a little bit more too.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and then you got the best players you think that are in the game
They had
on
an
the same
all-star
team.
team,
You got
bro.
an all-star team, right?
They had an all-star team, and they still lost. I just
Yeah.
don't get it.
The only problem is that there's a lot, like the manager, although we didn't put up enough runs as we thought we would do throughout this whole tournament, there's not a lot of time they got to kind of sync with themselves. It's only like a week before you start playing the game. And
Hmm.
then they have a lot of obligations to their own organizations, especially the pitchers. So people don't realize that manager has to actually every before every game has to talk to every organization that a player is from, like the pitching staff, and see, well, how many pitches can he throw today, right?
Yeah.
So pitcher A may only be able to throw 25 pitches, and then he has to map this around, right? We already lost Tyler. Oh, even Schoolboy left. He left the WC. He pitched one time. He had to leave because of
Yeah.
his future, contract situation and his obligation to his team. So I think that this is going to be a great opportunity. I think when it does come again, it needs to be mid-season where guys are actually warmed up, kind of in their own flow.
Yeah, I heard
Um,
about that. They said they might want to move it to mid-season.
right. But I'm not giving an excuse why we lost because everybody played in the same circumstances. But I think you
Facts.
get for US when they're coming straight off of their their summer vacation straight into one of the most important games or tournaments and not no warm up to that is kind of really tough for baseball guys to kind of get a rhythm because baseball is all about rhythm. You can go cold, ice cold for days,
Yeah.
sometimes weeks and spans. So just to kind of come out the bed and pretty much try to lock in, it's a tough thing to do. Um, yeah, so and I think that's where we struggled. I think we struggled because a lot of these guys weren't in their regular routine to be at their peak performance. And so hopefully maybe they'll move it to maybe middle of the season. They can and instead of the All-Star game, that break, you had an extra week, and we'll
Yeah.
run it that way. But think about
Yeah.
teams like Japan, right? Japan had to fly all the way to the U.S. for one game. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And maybe some guys stayed that are on MLB teams, but the other team that go all the way back. So it'd be interesting to kind of keep it going because it is, I think, exciting. Obviously, the viewership shows that, and the passion you're getting from the players as they're rounding bases, and you can see it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And like I said, I thought that the excitement and the passion of me watching the games, I think you felt that, and I think you heard that from the crowd.
Yeah.
You felt that from the crowd. The roar of the crowd is really what told me that this was important. These were important games, and it meant a lot to your point. Whether you're politically in turmoil or not, it meant a lot to their nation, and I think some of the players felt pride in that. And shout out to Bryce, man. Struggled. Him and Judge struggled down the stretch, but you know what a home run and what a moment to have that at the end. Did the salute and everything. Obviously showing his pride as an American, wearing the stars and stripes. But man, just what I saw that live, and I just yelled up. I did my whole Leo. There it is. There it is. You know what I mean? Did my whole Leo meme. Like there it is. You know what I mean? Like way to go get him, Bryce. You know what I mean? And just this. I say this all the time. Love football. Love basketball. Love all the sports that we typically love. There's nothing like playoff baseball. There's nothing like it, and that to me was like a playoff game. So, but nothing like NFL trade season and free agency. And man, has it been shaking and moving all crazy. But one trade, and we see this almost every year, that kind of went the opposite way, was a Max Crosby deal.
Crazy.
Right? And the question is, did Max Crosby get done dirty in this deal? And did it have trickle effects for the whole free agency, including the Raiders and other teams? So this is more fluff of Max's experience with Baltimore, which is kind of crazy in itself. And I think Shady kind of came out that GMs and owners should be investigated because the players are investigated for everything that they do. Why isn't this under some type of microscope of how a player of Max Crosby's caliber was treated in a way where they had to fly him commercial to DC and then made him drive 2 hours to Baltimore? So, and what was it, 2 first-round picks he got traded for?
Yeah, that didn't make sense. It's just really odd.
Yeah. So, try to get my head wrapped around it. So let's start from the top of the reverse of the trade. First, we just talked about the trade, right? 2 first-round picks. Max Crosby was supposed to go to the Ravens. Failed his physical, which I believe I heard his agent came out saying that he failed his physical for the long term and not the short term because he just had meniscus surgery. So they knew he was in his rehab, but they felt that the integrity of the knee could be compromised for multiple years down the line. So that's where he failed from the physical part. So that's kind of like step 2. Step 3, when they nixed the trade and everything got back, the Ravens had already kind of spent the bag in free agency, right? And not even that, other teams felt slighted because then they could have been on the Max Crosby deal as well. And it felt like I felt this sense that the Ravens did it on purpose, almost as like a play to make sure that no other teams gets Max Crosby, possibly in the division or not, or something like that. I don't know what the conspiracy is, but that's what the rumor is. Did you hear something to that effect, or did you?
No, I did not hear nothing to that effect.
Okay.
I know what just came out was Max Crosby actually had an interview and he was explaining his experience.
Yeah.
And that experience seemed to be really, really crazy for a player that you are bringing in and then treated your first 2 first rounds for. You would think he would be chaperoned all the way from gate to gate and being greeted with, open arms and a video prompter coming in when he's walking in the door.
Yeah.
To welcome one of the best
red carpet
ends in the game of football. He's one of the best players in football. And for him to come in, and like you said, I didn't even know he had to fly commercial. That's insane. And then he didn't even get picked up. He had to drive 2 hours with his family.
Yep.
And then he didn't even meet the GM when he got there. The GM was not there to meet him. He was with the testing. I guess he was testing for like an hour or whatever. And then he finally saw the head coach or whatever just because he wanted to meet him. And by the time the GM got there, he said that the whole everything just seemed off when he came in there. Like from a handshake on, it just seemed like something was off. And then they came down, sat down, and told him that it was something they didn't like in his physical. And he was more nervous himself about his physical ability, because he's like, well, I got the best doctors. What you mean? My doctor is the best doctor. What did you find? What kind of stuff you found? So, and they weren't giving no words. Next thing you know,
Yeah.
So that's the fishy part.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah. And it's almost like they kind of knew. I think that's where
right. Kind of like knew we weren't bringing him.
Yeah.
And
so,
they were just kind of like holding him.
Right. Exactly. And that's where the kind of conspiracy is, like it was done on purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean? And let people out here splurge and spend, and now they can't really make any moves to get Crosby back. And now the Raiders had to make, some moves too, which is fine. But I mean, the Raiders got better, man. They spent a lot of money out there, and they're about to bring in, another, the top draft pick in their quarterback, and kind of get this thing running for them. So it should be interesting how that team kind of forms. I like a lot of the moves the Raiders did. Actually, they made a lot of smart moves in that play. But what's maybe not smart, or maybe it is the Philadelphia Eagles and the AJ Brown saga continues. And there's an old saying, bro. Want to know what that old saying is?
What is it?
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
So I bring that up because it looks like this is the only option for AJ Brown at this point in a New England Patriots jersey. And we'll get to the trade part. But I put that up that yesterday's price is not today's price because of the trade that just happened between the Denver Broncos and the Miami Dolphins for Waddle. And I believe it was a first, a third, and they sent back a fourth.
I thought it was 3 picks. Was it 3 picks? Something like that? I mean, I could be wrong.
So I think it was a first, a third, and Miami sent back Waddle and a fourth. I think that was the trade. And now the comparison has been up about Howie saying kind of like a first and a second is really not as off as maybe people think.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. Trade.
Yeah, I was looking at it right now. What's it? 17th, right? 18th?
Yeah. Let's see. Jalen Waddle trade. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. It was 3 picks. So Denver sent, Miami sent a first round pick, the 30th overall pick, a third round pick, and a fourth round pick, all in this upcoming. I'm sorry. Denver sent a first round pick, a third round pick, and a fourth round pick to Miami, and Miami sent Waddle and this year's fourth round pick, which is a higher pick than Denver's.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't sign a new contract or anything like that. But I believe they're only a year apart. Waddle being a year younger. Obviously, AJ's been a lot more successful in the NFL than Waddle has. And Waddle had maybe 1 or 2 breakout years. Obviously, AJ's had multiple breakout years in Tennessee and Eagles green. But it's almost a foregone conclusion. And I said this before, and you were like, what? I was always never on the AJ Brown trade train.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, I've never been on that. I've been Team AJ since day one. But the way I'm looking at this thing now, and this is what I wanted to tell you, and I think I kind of said it in the chat because I think you want me to stay on that same energy. But I would trade AJ Brown.
Stop. We don't need to chat.
We don't need it. We don't need to hear no more.
He just admitted he would trade AJ Brown.
I would trade AJ Brown if we're going full blown rebuild, retool, whatever you want to call it, plan. If we're trying to compete this year, I'm not trading AJ Brown because, like I said before, and we got a bet still.
Mm-hmm.
If they trade AJ Brown, they won't make the playoffs. But if you tell me that I'm going to trade AJ Brown because I need the assets to rebuild this aging team in key positions and fill key positions that have left in free agency, you can talk me into that. You can get me on board with that because that I agree with, and it'll take a couple years. It ain't gonna be next year. It ain't gonna be 2 years. It's gonna take a couple years from then to revamp because the whole division actually got better. And no team has won the division 3 times in a row ever. So I don't see the Eagles doing that. Even though Hollywood Brown coming in does help, he's a name. He's done well in the NFL, especially now that he's not a number 2. He's more of a number 3, but he's a /3/2. But you can see the philosophy of this offense is kind of changing with that. You know, if you take AJ out and then you have Smitty and then Brown and then maybe a draft pick or Cooper, I forget who's the 4th receiver. This kind of changes this offense a little bit, you know, from a philosophy standpoint, from how their skill positions are actually skilled.
Well, we upgraded, right? We can't say the way the offense is established right now. We've upgraded, right? We got Jahan Dotson out of here. We replaced him with Hollywood Brown. That's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade if they use them though. If they use the third receiver,
I'm assuming we're gonna have a new offense, new coordination, right? We're going to give faith to what he's going to do. We hope he's going to be able to do what he needs to do, right? I think that AJ Brown and New England Patriots, I just don't think the Patriots have enough to give. I mean, why would we want their first round pick? I mean, the first round pick's like the third.
Well, it'll be next year. I think if it's a first round pick, it won't be this year. It'll be next year's pick.
Oh, okay. I mean, at that point, it's like, I mean, what are their picks worth? Like trading picks, unless there are going to be multiple picks with the Patriots.
It would have to be multiple picks after a while,
right? Because they're going to be at the end of the draft anyway. So
yeah,
it's one of them things where, you know, they're going to have to give up, you know, maybe like you said, a number 1 or 2 number 2s, you know, a future, maybe a 4th and something like that, because they're going to still be good. You know what I mean? You add AJ Brown, that definitely doesn't move them closer to us getting a good draft.
And it kind of forces them to make a move because Denver got really good, really fast.
Denver did. That was a good place for them to get Waddle.
Yeah.
So
and they stay solid. I don't think Denver lost a lot.
I don't think at this point we're moving them, unless somebody comes up from the lower ends or trying to make moves.
Yeah.
And want to restart their program through AJ Brown, which I think he would be happy with. I don't know if AJ really cares. This is me speaking from the experience that he's expressed. He cares about himself and he wants to get his numbers. I don't think he really cares about winning. I think he wants to win individually. So I think any team that's interested to starting a new, starting over would be, I think AJ would be a good piece for you if he's going to be your number 1 and go-to guy, and get all 10 catches a game.
You talking to the GMs, bro?
Yeah, pretty much. Listen. Those teams that's like on the verge of potentially coming up.
That's
the Browns. Hey, the Browns, come on in. Browns, step on in. The water's high.
Yeah, right.
Step on in. The water's high.
It's kind of interesting that the Rams tried to trade for him.
I heard they said that they didn't like. What did they say? They said they didn't like something about the physical.
Yeah, they didn't like something about his physical. Yeah, so they kept it moving, which is interesting.
That was interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Probably between the ears. That's probably what he failed. He probably failed the commitment test. That's what he failed.
Yeah,
that's probably what he failed. He probably failed the locker room.
I tell you what. I tell you what. If he went to the Rams, that would have been just That just would have been silly. Him and Puka.
Why would we trade him to the Rams though? That'd be stupid for us to trade him to the Rams.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know. But what's interesting though, speaking about future in the Rams expansion, switch sports, NBA expansion,
Mm.
2028. Got two new teams. It's looking like Seattle Supersonics, and I hope that's right with the Las Vegas Vipers. It's looking like Supersonics are coming back since 2008. I think the last time I read, and then Las Vegas, who don't have a team but do have the Las Vegas Aces in the WNBA, finally gets a men's basketball team. This is going to be up for vote, I believe, coming soon. I don't see why this doesn't move forward. Seattle's been, yelling at the top of the lungs to get the Supersonics back, and it just makes sense. It's Las Vegas. It just makes sense to have a Vegas team there, especially with the Aces there as well. I think the interesting thing about this, which I don't think did this, no, because no, they moved to OKC. Have we been alive for an expansion? For
An
NBA
expansion?
expansion? Yeah, like when they added teams. I know teams have moved.
For an expansion. Who's new?
Like
There was
who's
some
in,
movement, right? Memphis came from Canada, right? So there was some movement.
and then Seattle went to OKC, right?
Yeah, I went to OKC.
See.
Damn, did we see a new team?
I don't feel like we've seen a new team.
That's a good
Well,
question.
the reason why I say that though, because there's a draft. This is, from what I'm reading, this is an expensive draft, and I'm just wondering, does that mean everybody's available to be drafted?
No.
Like, my thought is, how does the NBA expansion draft work? Because we've seen already like Zion out there, Morant, I think I've seen there, even KD is possibly on the move. Like, do you know the ins and out of how the NBA does this expansion draft? Because I'm clueless.
That's a good question. I don't know. I didn't even think about it that far because we haven't. I really haven't thought about it.
Yeah. I'm just wondering because you see all these pictures of all these players and it's just like, is
Okay,
like,
here it goes.
who's not touchable.
Let's take a look at it. It says the NBA expansion draft allows new teams to select unprotected players from existing rosters, typically enabling each team to protect up to 8 players. The new teams select from the remaining players to build a roster, usually restricted to taking one of the player per existing team, and can waive players without cap penalty. So that's what.
So you pick your top 8, and everybody else is free game.
That's unprotected. Yep.
That's unprotected. Wow.
And then let me ask, when was?
Yeah, I don't remember the last time they added a team for NBA. It had to be before our time, for sure.
Charlotte Bobcats. You're right, Charlotte.
Oh, Charlotte, that is true.
Charlotte Bobcats. Yep.
Charlotte Bobcats.
Yep, Charlotte Bobcats.
And now they're the Hornets, right? They just changed it. They're back to the Hornets, right?
Yeah, because it was the Charlotte Bobcats, and then the New Orleans Hornets moved to Charlotte, and then it was no New Orleans team. Then the Pelicans.
Hold on, yeah, that's weird because it was the Hornets before the Bobcats, though, right?
It was the New Orleans Hornets. It was the Charlotte Hornets.
It was Charlotte Hornets.
Yes.
I was it
was Charlotte Bobcats.
No, bro, we talking about Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson.
Yeah, it was Charlotte Hornets.
It was Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, Muggsy Bogues.
Oh, did they go? Maybe they went. Oh, yes, right. So Charlotte went to New Orleans. That's what it was.
Okay.
So the Charlotte Hornets went to New Orleans, became the New Orleans Hornets, and then they brought back Charlotte, which became Charlotte Bobcats. And that's what happened.
Yeah. And that's when Mike was part of that team for the Bobcats.
Yeah. So I remember that Bobcat team, but they had like Steven Jackson. I forgot who else was on that team.
I don't remember the Bobcats.
Who was on that Bobcats? It was Steven Jackson.
I just know they were terrible. They kept getting the first pick and they kept missing. Like
Mhm.
they never got a blue chip prospect in there that could do anything. Did, did he? No, that was the Wizards when
What?
Mike played, right?
Washington Wizards, yeah.
Yeah, it was the Wizards when Mike. Yeah, he finished with the Wizards. I thought it was something that he played with Charlotte for a little bit or something. It might have been in practice. He probably busting their ass. And Mike. I mean, he's like,
Lace him up.
let me put these 11s on real quick.
That
Yeah, man.
definitely is a skill.
Um,
So the issue or the question is, I know it was a Draymond podcast, Draymond Green podcast. He had a good point. He was saying that, well, he doesn't agree with the expansion because he just thinks it's going to water down the NBA.
mhm.
Which he makes some good points. He was saying that there's not enough talent, not that there's not enough player, but not enough star talent to spread across. He
That's
said half
because his
the
ass ain't gonna be protected. Ain't gonna ship his ass out. That's why.
guys.
That's
he was
why.
saying he was saying even now today there's some teams that we don't even know the names of these players on these teams, and he's right. Like some of these
That's
dudes, I'd be
true.
like, who the hell is that? Right?
That's
Like you
true.
get into right now the 76ers. I'm like, yo, who are these dudes in the game right now that's playing because we got a lot of injuries? And it's like, okay, so
Yeah.
how do you fill two more teams with that? Like it
More
should be a
international
slower.
players.
That could be true too. But then I think Perk has been on the other end of that because he was saying there's a lot of young and upcoming guys coming. Like this freshman class is really, really good that's
Hmm.
coming out, which I do think is one of the best freshman class I can remember coming out, and definitely being a draft for NBA. So I'm excited to see where these young guys are going to go because I feel like they're all going to be game changers. But there is just a different level when we get to the NBA. There's a reason why,
For sure.
what I'm saying, cats that known in the college level either completely disappears on the next level, when they were averaging 20 points and then they get to the NBA and they're like, I can't even see the court.
Yep.
There's a reason for that. Some is politics, right? Some is team is like you're only going to get X amount of shots, and some are they're just that level. That next level is that good. You're not playing against 18-year-olds and the 20-year-olds. These are grown men's strength. You got, the Dirks. I'm sorry, the Jokers, the Embiids, the Giannis's. Can you imagine Giannis on a college team? Like what?
That's funny. Yeah, they try to shut him down. That's funny how he's even still in Milwaukee. With all this turmoil, I just saw they tried to because he got hurt or he fell awkwardly. They said he tried to shut him down. He said, "No, you're not shutting me down." I just thought that was funny. But that's that split is coming,
Mhm.
sooner than later. So we'll see how that goes. But what didn't split? WNBA. The girls got paid to some degree. WNBA and players unions did reach an agreement, or at least a verbal agreement, on a new CBA for the start of the 2026 season. That means the season will start on time. I believe training camp opens up this month. Season starts May 8th. They had a pretty significant in terms of percentage when you think about it. The salary cap raised from 1.5 to 7 million,
Yeah, that's great.
which is like a 400% increase, with average salaries jumping to over 600,000 and a minimum exceeding 300,000.
That's great. Good for them.
Supermax contracts are will start at 1.4 million, and then players will receive roughly 20% of overall league revenue. Essential point of the negotiation, meaning as the WNBA grows, the players get more compensation. So, yeah, I think it was a big win for them. There was always been kind of just wow moments that, I think Angel Reese was making what, like 80 grand or 70
Mhm.
grand or something like that on her rookie contract, which is just kind of really ridiculous in terms of that. I know that was a big thing between her and Caitlin Clark, but obviously Caitlin Clark being kind of the golden goose of the WNBA had all kinds of sponsors, and I think Angel Reese had put herself in a position very nicely outside of basketball and securing her sponsors as well, right? I think she's got a talk show. I think she's done runway stuff. She's definitely put herself in a position as a young black woman and young black entrepreneur outside of the game of basketball. So, yeah, I think that's kind of huge news to your point. I have followed the WNBA for the most part as well. So, Be exciting to see, what they can do this year. Was it? I think Vegas won last year, right? Vegas won. They swept.
Vegas, yeah, they
Yeah,
won.
Vegas went on a hot run, right? I think at
Uh-huh.
the end, right? So it'll be real interesting this year to see. I got to kind of dig more into it. We'll talk about some WNBA stuff as we move forward, as we do all sports on this. But obviously, huge win because
Yeah,
I think a lot of people thought, including myself, that there was going to be a lockout and they weren't going to get a deal done just because there's really no money right
yeah.
now.
And
And
congratulations to them. And
yeah,
it
are
is
they looking?
earned.
They're looking at expansion too, right?
They are
I
looking at
think.
expansion. That's the goal.
Yeah,
I think they get a couple more teams. But I think that what's most importantly is that they have to advocate. Like the players have to advocate.
yeah,
All right, you get yours now. Now you have to build this league. You have to advocate the younger people that are coming up. You need to be down and talking about college players because you need these next layers of people to be interested in watching the sport. Right? We want to be able to keep us interested. It's a lot of things going on, a lot of sports going on. You know,
yeah.
so for you to keep the eyes going, to keep you getting paid, got to make sure that you guys are advocating for your league, and doing the most that you can do, so you guys keep your league survive, going, and this won't be just a quick flip. You know what I mean? And then right back to square one.
Yeah. Yeah, they need some controversy to bring some more eyes. They need to put people in seats.
Yep.
It's tough. You know what I mean? They need to put people in seats. I think somebody I saw been around the block said they feel like the league's going to be belly up in a couple of years, but we'll see.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's the thing. It's like, but that's what I'm saying. They have to now take the reins and promoting their league. I don't know what they got to do. If for a
yeah,
moment they got to be WWE and create some type of whatever you can do to make sure you're getting eyes or getting stories going. But it don't just mean like once you get there, it's just y'all. You got to think about the next group. You right? Because there's stories about, you know, shoot, I forget her name right now. You know what I'm saying? You see how quick that is?
yeah.
Angel Reese and what's her name? I can't think of her name right
What,
now.
Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark, right? Like I'm
Yeah,
already forgetting the name. So if there is no like, you need to make sure you guys are keeping relevant. I do like the one-on-one thing they got going on. It's pretty interesting to keep those guys. Those
yeah. The
stars.
one girl from the Aces won the 1-on-1. I
Yeah.
think.
So that's cool, right?
I forget her name
You
off the top of
bring
my
that
head.
in. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you change the rule a little bit where like overtime becomes something like that, like a one-on-one. You know what I mean? Like we go listen, we get to overtime, you're gonna pick your best player, you're gonna play one-on-one to 7, and then y'all just that could be something that'd be interesting. Definitely
That'd
gotta
be
keep people interested.
that'd be hilarious.
That would be crazy, right? One-on-one half court
1-on-1 half court to win the game
for overtime.
for overtime.
Listen, I'm thinking.
That'd be unheard of. Actually, no, hold up. There's a new team. There's 2 new teams on the thing. Portland Fire and Toronto Tempo.
Toronto Tempo.
Toronto Tempo is definitely new.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember Portland Fire. It looked
Yeah,
like they
because the
got.
latest new team was Utah, right? Last year, who was that new team? It was a new
Oh,
team last year. Was it Utah last year?
was it you? No, no, no. It was Where did that girl go? Who was the number 1 pick? Wasn't no, it wasn't the Mystics.
No, not the
Wasn't
Mystics.
Dallas Wings? Was it Dallas?
No, Dallas was there. It was somebody else. Keep
Or Golden
going.
Golden State? There's Phoenix
What was Golden State? What?
Valkyries.
It was the Valkyries. They were the new team.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay,
All right.
so you got some new ones.
Yeah. Cool. All right, everybody. I want everybody hanging on with us on the late night, John. We're a little bit longer than our normal hour, but hey, that's what it goes when we're having fun. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Check out all the merch down at moneypotbetting.com and become a member. Join the money team so you can hop on and talk some sports and Eagles with us. Hit the join button if you go to YouTube. Really cheap. I think it's like $2 every month. It's kind of cool deal. So go ahead and check that out. And make sure you are here with us for next week as we talk more hot topics and big news in sports and betting. I'm Moss Money. That's Be Humble. We'll see you guys next week.